What up everybody, welcome back. This is Robby from Robby's Art, and today I want us to create some grass. Well, we already created some grass, but this time this is like the improvement of that grass, which I actually wanted to try out something new. And then, well, I got some actual grass and then I created this. So let's jump right in. Let's see how you actually create this. So first up, we are here and let's create new mesh. So shift A on the keyboard, new plane, and S to scale, then push 5 on the keyboard and left click. So we have this. So what we're going to do with this is let's go into the edit mode. So you can actually use this on top here to go into edit mode, and we can subdivide. So right click and subdivide, and here where it says subdivide, let's use the fractal and let's just increase this number to something like 1.7. all right, that looks good. So come here and say subdivide again. So you notice it actually gets a different shape, and we subdivide again and again and again. Okay, so you can actually put in a different number and see how that actually gets affected, but otherwise I'll leave it at 1.7, and I love this. So I shall push. Let's go back to object mode and right click and shade mode. So here, as you can see, they're actually jagged edges, which I don't want that. So let's go under modifier and let's add in a subdivision surface. That actually looks good, and let's push it to 2 so I can see. Okay, that looks awesome. If we go into the camera view, push 0 on the keyboard. So that is our camera view. So the thing is, I don't want that camera view. I want to be seeing the whole thing as it is, as a ground plane. So I'll come here, zoom out, and then push Control Alternate and 0 on your number pad. Boom. So we have this. Now next thing is, let's just turn off that. So next thing is, let's go into a single view, say in the y-axis, and let's bring in a reference image. So shift A to bring in something, bring in an image, reference image. And in here I actually went out and actually got pictures. So if you have a camera, you can actually go out and get some pictures, and once you get pictures, you can actually go into Photoshop and cut them just like this. So you actually select this part and then you actually cut and make like the front view and the back view. But well, it really doesn't matter whether a front view or back view, but it still works. Then get some dry grass and also do the same thing, cut them out. Or if you don't want, you can still use the same thing the way it is. So let's bring in grass 1, which we've made the UV, and load reference. So now we have this. Let's zoom in and let's bring in a plane. So new, add mesh plane, and notice here the plane is actually laying down. So you can push T if you don't have these and bring them like that. So let's rotate this like something like 90 degrees. So you can see it on your left hand corner right here. You would actually see the degrees, and that looks good. So let's go to the, oops, what did I do? Okay, so let's go into the front view, which is the y-axis, and now let's turn on the X-ray. Now let's try and fit this. So let's go into edge mode. So let's select this edge and select the move, and let's move this right close to what we want to follow. So we can either follow that or follow the one on top. So we can select all, oops, my bad, escape, push A to select all, and then G to move, and then move it up so we can actually get a reference from this. So we've got this, and then now we can actually stretch it. Okay, so making sure it fits the whole thing. So now we'll push Control R on the keyboard, so it makes a division. So click right, which is left click, then right click, and now you can increase the number of divisions here, which I want something like 12 or 13 or even more, 15. That actually works. which is not a very good idea to actually increase them to that much. So let's just reduce them something like 10, and let's move in. So here it fits. So let's go into point mode, and then in point mode we'll be selecting one by one and then selecting the move to, and then we move them right into place where they need to be. An alternative, instead of moving them, we can select both of them and then scale. I'm not with the idea of moving them, because what happens is in the UV map they actually start warping, which does not look very well. So let's zoom out, let's see the whole image, and let's go where it says UV mapping. So notice if I actually, let me push A to select all and move in. So here in this side I'll push, make sure you're in the y-axis so that I can see it straightforward, and let's just position that. So if we go under UV, let's use projection from view. So notice it actually brings it the way it looks like this side. And now let's go back and bring this reference image of ours back into Blender, drop it there, and we can actually select this whole thing, S for scale, and let's scale it and move it. So the idea is to keep this thing in place, looking the same. Okay, so let me just make sure it actually fits well. G to move, let me move it in front, and then we can actually get the scaling tool here and then scale it in this dimension right here. Oops, my bad. So just select one dimension and then just scale it. I think that works. So if we come back here, oh, let's go under shading, sorry. Let's go under shading. Okay. So the thing is, at this point I don't need this empty. This is called an empty, the image I just added. So let's turn it off and let's push, select this, push the dot on your number keypad and then click where it says new. All right, so we have this principal shader right here, and we are going back and getting the reference image again and dropping it into Blender, and let's plug it into the base color. So if I actually took this, okay, this is a darker version, so the lighting is not that. So notice it actually gets that. So depending on what you want, since I don't want too many polygons for this, I don't want too much mesh, I'm okay with whatever I have. I don't think I need to add any more mesh, which is okay, but we can always add the bump map. So select this, Shift D to duplicate, and then put it there, then plug it into the normal, and then under the normal just come here, Shift A and search for a bump, and then drop it in the middle so it plugs into the normal. Remove it from the normal and plug it into the height. So notice you actually get these edges, so you can remove the strength, just reduce the strength of this, which is something like that, which is okay. And the other thing what you can do is select, oops, my bad. So if you select this, Shift D and duplicate, put it here, you can plug this into the roughness and it will get some specular as you actually render. Though for me to actually get some control out of this, I actually added a car ramp. So add a car ramp and you can actually gain some control out of this. All right, that looks okay. Now let's go back to layout. So we know our mesh is actually textured. I want to rotate this, so make sure I'm in the Y view, and then let's just rotate this 90 degrees. G to move, make sure the bottom is right at the bottom, And now I can actually move this. So I'll select the top part, maybe let's say 2 of this, and then G to move. And then if I move this, notice the whole thing actually moves. So we have grass right there like that. So if I come back to object mode, it looks like that. So now the idea is to actually make it bulge, like we need a lot of this. So let me just speed this part up.